Now to the sad news of the passing of our former colleague at the Voice of St. Martin, Lloyd Richardson, who died Tuesday morning at a medical facility in Atlanta after a brief illness. He was 78 years old. Lloyd Richardson was the host of the Sunday morning program People's Voice and the weekday show Viewpoint until he signed off in 2015. In addition to his work in radio, he contributed to journalism through the Chronicle newspaper, owned the business Plant a Tent, and presented the Lloyd Richardson Show on cable TV Channel 15. He was also known for his passion for Corvettes. He was also a member of the Atlanta Corvette Club. During his time at the Voice of St. Martin, Lloyd Richardson interviewed a diverse range of guests, from politicians to everyday citizens striving to make a positive impact on the island. He was committed to giving a platform to those who wanted to contribute to the community, ensuring that everyone had a voice. While hosting his programs, the late Richardson was known for challenging his guests, particularly politicians. This earned him a reputation among some as being controversial. Here is Lloyd Richardson back in 2013 and 2014, speaking to the then Prime Minister of St. Martin, Sarah Westcott Williams, and the President of Parliament at the time, Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel.
We're talking about an election year. You, of course, are the leader of your party, the Democratic Party. You're planning to contest the election as a Democratic Party, or are you going to be joining forces? Don't want to put you on the spot so soon.
Let me put it this way, Lloyd. Our association, the Democratic Party, allows us the possibility, if we assess the situation, to make it necessary to join forces. So specifically in our association, that is mentioned.
You've gotten the green light on
that. Yes, and it is part of our articles of incorporation. And we haven't reached that stage to determine that is what it will be. But we do, if we do decide, it allows us that possibility.
Okay, very, very astute political answer. You are the master of that. Let me just put it. Thank you so much, Prime Minister,
Lloyd.
for coming in.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking to you this morning.
Thank you.
I am going to tender my resignation as chairperson of Parliament tomorrow.
4 years ago, we had meetings with the management of towers at Mother Bay, where the workers signed an agreement that within 2 days after the signing the agreement, towers will pay the workers what was due to them. They pay out after the whole closing of the towers. Up to this date, the matter was brought forward to the Labour office and nothing has been done. So now we hear that the involvement of NA and the sale of Mother Bay, we want to know exactly what will happen to the employees' payout. We heard many politicians and various government talk about Mother Bay, and they always exclude the workers' rights. We want to address this matter, and we hope that the present government, because for the past 4 years they haven't spoke to us with regards to workers' rights and the situation not only in Mother Bay or the towers, but in general, the workers' rights on the island. So we want to make this known, not only in St. Martin, but within the entire kingdom. Ansar is well known, and what he has done to St. Martin and to the workers here.
Have been assisting this afternoon in the meeting that was called by the Rifle Union. for the workers of the towers, the workers that had verdicts from the court and still have not got their payments. The ones from the towers was a voluntary agreement, a settlement agreement reached based on the CLA of the workers. The other workers that were here in the meeting experienced verdicts that were not honored by their employer. And until the day of the day, some already 4 years, they still can't get their pay. As Anti-Poverty Platform Coordinator, we have been advocating for fair wages, equal treatment for workers in the kingdom. The reality of the workers in St. Martin is that in 1974, a worker was entitled to get 1,350 guilders per person a month to cover his basic needs. This was determined by Dutch experts and also by the Antillean experts from the government of the Netherlands Antilles at that time. We are now 50 years further, and with the Anti-Poverty Platform, we did a calculation. This 1,350 guilders for the basic needs package 50 years ago now cost 5,200 guilders. But at that time, when they tell you go online, there was no Wi-Fi. There was no tools for you to go online. Now they tell you go online. And seniors are telling me the only line that they know is where to hang the clothes. But nowadays they want you to go online to get information, to register, to pay, to do all kinds of things. And that was not included in the 5,200 package that was actually now adjusted to the cost of living. How many workers are getting 5,200 guilders or more a month? The latest census of St. Martin, which was held in 2022, provided this figure. From every 10 persons, 8 have less than 5,000 guilders a month. That means to say that every worker that has less than 5,000 guilders is poor and in need. He can't make the ends meet at the end of the month. So how much more a worker that didn't get their pay, a worker that didn't get their fair wage, a worker that is still awaiting for them to get the accumulated salaries that had to be paid, how much more difficult it is for them to do something with that little money that they have. If it is a little pension that you have, you know, not even a maximum old age pension amount of 1,350 guilders reaches 5,000 guilders. If it is a minimum wage that was promised, the $1,000, 1st of April, April's Fool Day, that amount you can only get when there is a national decree. Workers came to the Whitehall and asked, why can't I get my pay? And the employer that we contacted said, because it was not in the National Gazette. It was not published. So it was a promise for the fool. What we want to say that even when you give the worker $1,000, which is 1,800 guilders, he can't meet the ends. If 5,200 guilders is the minimum that had to be based on index for a basic package of 50 years ago, how much more they need to get today. But all the politicians asked us to vote for me, for him to get 18,000 plus a month. With that 18,000 plus a month, what did they do, the former politicians? None of them did something with the flaws in the labor laws that the Chamber of Labor Unions has been providing. We have been showing these things also in Parliament. It is not fair that when you approach your representatives in parliament and you tell them, you have to do something about this, what is it that they did? Nothing. The holes are still there. The flaws are still there. And the mere fact that the workers that came out tonight, this afternoon, they still didn't get their pay. It means the flaw is still there. The holes in the legislation is still there. No one did something with it.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social health insurances.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to remember to help keep you and your family safe. If you're not in an area that is advised to evacuate and you decide to stay in your home, plan for adequate supplies in case you lose power and water for several days and you're not able to leave due to flooding or blocked roads. This hurricane season, make a family emergency communication plan. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Celebrate the Sustainable Development Goals Flag Day, a day in which we highlight the progress made in implementing the SDGs in St. Martin. Over the years, the government of St. Martin, NGOs, and you, the public, have contributed to the implementation. The SDGs will assist the country in moving towards the realization of the National Development Vision. A vision created by and for the people of St. Martin as we aim to grow stronger together. This SDG Flag Day 2024, we are highlighting projects and efforts concerning waste management, specifically pertaining to plastic. One of those ongoing projects is the Plastic-Free St. Martin program, which is being executed by our government of St. Martin in collaboration with SMDF. This project, funded through the European Union Red Sembit program, which is being implemented by the Expertise France. In addition, the Green Dream Projects Foundation, in collaboration with St. Martin National Commission for UNESCO, successfully implemented a waste management project in several primary and secondary schools on St. Martin. Last but definitely not least, Epic St. Martin Foundation has launched its innovative Perpetual Plastic Project. So St. Martin, let's continue to build on these initiatives for a plastic-free St. Martin. Remember to refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. Happy Sustainable Development Goals Flag Day.
Hi, my name is Melanie Schwazi of SMDF, the St. Martin Development Fund, who is executing the Plastic-Free St. Martin project on behalf of the government of St. Martin. Plastic-Free St. Martin's goal is to reduce single-use plastics on St. Martin by promoting more environmentally conscious behaviors with the community, legislative reform, research, and strict enforcement. The project is supported by Resembid, funded by the European Union, and implemented by Expertise France. This project connects to SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, because it discourages the use of unnecessary plastic and promotes sustainable consumption patterns. Plastic-Free St. Martin also connects to SDGs 11, 13, 14, 15, and 17. Happy SDG Flag Day!
My name is Claude Chavois. I'm the president and founder of the Green Dream Projects, established in 2018. I currently work at the MAC CSC, and my project concerns sustainable waste management. We currently have 20 plus schools involved in this effort, including businesses, healthcare providers, so we are considered a network. The Green Dream Project falls under the Sustainable Development Goals under number 12, and it has to do with the recycling, promotion, and sustainable impacts as it relates to environmental. It benefits St. Martin because, as I stated, it reduces the number of recyclables that goes to the landfill. It also increases awareness, and it involves the communities as well as students, schools, businesses, foundations, etc. in producing a green St. Martin. We currently have over 400 plus green ambassadors from various different schools across St. Martin, and they are involved in the sustainability and the maintaining of a clean environment within the school grounds. Happy SDG Flag Day.
Hi, I'm Fleur Hermanidis. I'm president of the board of EPIC Environmental Protection in the Caribbean Foundation on St. Martin. One of our current projects they have up and running right now is our Perpetual Plastic Social Plastic Recycling Workspace. It is a workspace where we incorporate persons who have a distance to the labor market, also persons who are differently abled and therefore cannot work in a regular job or any kind of have different circumstances that prohibit them from being in the regular labor market. So in that way, we are trying to be as fully inclusive as possible, but also incorporating our youth and other vulnerables with any kind of other projects that we can do there. We have a very large educational component, so we go into the schools, and we also have field trips. They can come by us, but we also do a lot of cleanups. So we've also been hosting quite a few lately, also incorporating hiking and kayaking, whereby we can open people's eyes to what we have as issues on the island and how we can become more resourceful and sustainable in our usage. So our Perpetual Plastics project actually encompasses a lot of the SDGs because you're working against inequality, being more innovative, more sustainable, keeping our environment clean. So it's pretty much SDG goals 10 to 15, 9 to 15 are all incorporated into this project. Happy SDG Flag Day to everyone.
A year report of the 2023 year report of the Joint Court. There is a list of all the different cases that are handled and also a comparison between Aruba, Curaçao, St. Martin and the Best Islands. And in this list it says KZ, which is krankzinnigverklaring.
Yeah.
And that is to have patients, mental health patients, locked up and medicated under duress.
Mm-hmm.
It says in the year report, this is a responsibility of the court to decide on that, to evaluate the advice of the psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
So in the comparison, it said that in 2022, Aruba had 1 request to the court. In 2023, it was 4 requests. And Curaçao had 74 requests in 2022, and in 23 it was 89 requests, so it went in total went up 24%. But St. Martin has 0 in 2022 and 0 in 2023. But we all know, and through the stories in the media also, we have all reported on the patients that died. And those were patients that were under duress, under KZ. So my question to you is, since you became the Minister of ASI, have you signed any KZ statements? And if you have, how do you justify that for yourself, knowing that you don't have any medical background? And if you didn't sign them, then who did? Because in the meantime, people have been locked up and are receiving injections against their will.
Yes. During my time, I have signed KZ requests. They come in with an elaborate medical report from the psychiatrists. They also come in, so those requests come in as well with letters to the the various instances, that some that you mentioned there as well, indicating of these cases. I have also had so far one that came in via the justice system as well. That came, so now the zero will be at least one that came directly from the justice system. What happens is that if someone is a threat to themselves or to the community, the assessment is done by the psychiatrists at a mental health foundation. So they end up in the system, and then the report is made up, and that is what is sent on. Yes.
Okay. You know that the psychiatrist, the medical director of HF, is held responsible by the court for the death of Carlette Julien, and maybe also following others. There are 6 patients of her patients who died, and she has now been dismissed. So how do you know that you can trust a psychiatrist evaluation, seeing that this psychiatrist is responsible for the death of at least one person?
I don't think that I have received any advices or any reports from that specific psychiatrist. If you're saying, how do I know that I can trust whatever psychiatrist comes, it is an issue that is brought forward to me, and a decision has to be made if you're going to secure the community when the person is a threat to the community, or if you're going to secure the person. I think I've always mentioned that mental health is very dear to me, in having had family members afflicted by mental health, and sometimes these difficult decisions have to be taken. Before I sign, I always verify if there is room. I can tell you right now, there are people in our community who there is a request, but there is no room now to take them up in a responsible manner. So they are not being placed. If I know that they can be placed in a responsible manner, which means that the specific location in the facility is available, then and I look at the report, then I do sign.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
First slide, I have to tell you, El Rosario, person living with Alzheimer's, he left yesterday morning with his family member to go south. he will be now going to Curacao, living with his family there.
Oh, because he can't live alone anymore.
Right. But we cannot talk today about the topic that has been raised by the report without having his own words to be shared, also with the public. He said, I started to forget things, and they said I was repeating things over and over again. People were seeing me walking and were talking about me with others and were avoiding me. I thought that forgetting things is something normal when you get older. Why people started to avoid me? I'm still the same, Elko Rosario. I didn't know that these were signs of a developing dementia condition. My family reached out to the St. Martin Alzheimer's Foundation, and I got to know much more about what was happening in my brain. I was happy when I could go to radio interviews and information evenings about Alzheimer's to tell others what I experienced. With acceptance and help from my good friend Mindo and his wife from Iringebai, from Mr. Jesalun of the Alzheimer's Foundation and neurologist Dr. Marcus from SMMC, I can live much better now. I'm going to live now with my family in Curacao after having been in St. Martin for more than 40 years. This text we have actually brought together based on his declarations in different programs that we did with him, radio, TV, and also in different settings.
And Dr. Marcus is here since
Dr. Marcus is here for a year or 3 already. The good news, before he left, this was read by his son who came to pick him up. And he was totally in agreement. That is what he has been seeing and thinking. So for this presentation, what he is stating here will illustrate how important it is that we do something about these experiences. There is a need for dementia education. The survey results show that there is a lack of knowledge. Right? So Elko, as you just heard, he explains how it started with him, and he didn't know, he didn't see it as a problem. Yeah, he was experiencing forgetfulness, but he didn't know that it was actually maybe a disease. So the report also gives those kind of expressions. The majority of the people in the world, 4 out of 5, they think that dementia is a normal part of aging, and they relate it to we becoming older. No, our younger people are already affected with dementia. And because there are different types of dementia, it's not only Alzheimer's. The one that is most common is Alzheimer's as a disease. But there are more diseases that are causing dementia in our society. And as Minister of Public Health, we want you to, in particular, consider that experience, not only of us, but also from the neurologist at the SMMC and the neuropsychologist that are addressing this issue at the moment.